Next organism on our radar is the Heterophyes Heterophyes. Okay, I get to see that this organism actually what causes a disease condition known as what Heterophiasis. Heterophiasis. Okay, so discussing this organism, we'll get to look at the classifications of this organism. That's the Heterophyes Heterophyes. All right, then coupled up with a lot of pictures to help you guys know how this organism look like. We also get to look at the life cycle. We get to look at the transmission, like how it is transmitted. We get to look at the symptoms, the diagnosis, the treatment, and how to prevent what disease from this organism. So, starting from the definition now, the Heterophyes heterophyes is a parasitic flatworm that causes an infection known as what heterophiasis. It's actually an intestinal infection, right? To affect your intestine. And anything affecting your intestine, you know the symptoms of the GI tract, right? So classification include the phylum is what platyhelminths. So it's actually a flatworm. Okay. Class is Trematoda. Family is what Heteropyidae. Genus is what Heterophyes. Species is what H. Heterophyes. That's why they call it what Heterophyes Heterophyes. Okay. Life cycle is like almost every other tapeworm. Okay, so they have to be released in feces. These feces can contaminate the water and get ingested by the fish. Okay, so the larvae will now develop in the fish muscles. Now infected fish can now be consumed by what the definitive host, which could be a carnivorous mammal or humans. All right, probably you didn't process the fish well, or you ate an undercooked fish. Do you understand? So larvae, when it gets into the human being to exist, that means what, the cyst to break and the larvae will be released. All right, then in turn it will mature in the human beings, causing a lot of problems before it will then be what excreted through what feces. Okay, transmission is what you are consuming raw or undercooked infected fish. You are consuming what contaminated water. Okay, symptoms include abdominal pain, diarrhea, weight loss, nausea and vomiting, fever, and intestinal obstructions. Right, all of that could be the symptoms. Diagnosis is what, since you are saying if it infects a human being, later on they will now pass it in feces. You might want to do a stool examination just to check out for eggs or segments of the worm. Okay. Imaging studies could also be helpful. Endoscopy can be helpful, and serological tests can also be helpful. Treatment is using what? Praziquantel, niclosamide, albendazole. These are the possible drugs that could be effective. Prevention is what? Just make sure that you cook your meat properly, or you could freeze your meat at a degree of at a temperature of about minus 20 degrees Celsius for 24 hours, and this can help to kill the organism. And improve sanitation and hygiene, then avoid contaminated water. Then finally, complications and epidemiology. Complications is what? Intestinal perforation, malabsorption, allergic reactions, cholangitis. Epidemiology is mostly in the Middle East, Asia, and also Africa. Okay, so this is regions of the world that is packed up with what? Nations that are still developing. So it's safe to say that probably their sanitation is not really top notch. Okay, estimated about 1.4 million people are infected by this worldwide. Okay, so that's it for what? Heterophyes, heterophyes.